We are with Ciclu today. They have a couple new products. I'm sure you guys heard about them in the past. And we're here with Boris, Director of Business Development, to tell us a little bit more about them.
Hi. So I'm with Ciclu for 8 years. Started from the R&D part actually. From making the first prototype, moving into production, managing the engineering, the integration, all that stuff, and then moved to the business part, selling the product, making partnerships, etc.
So your business development sales that then actually is going to know what he's talking about because he built it.
This is actually my background, my engineering background.
That's not very common to have a sales guy that knows what he's talking about.
Growing the company from like 7 employees to world leader in millimeter wave space, from the first thing that we put on the rooftop of our building, of our garage, so-called, and we now have about 45,000 units installed worldwide.
That's nice.
And the US is our biggest market, and WISPs are our main target market here in the US. So I'll talk a bit about our product.
Sure.
So we have basically millimeter wave, and we are operating in the millimeter wave. So this is a technology actually that can provide multi-gigabit capacity without interference and can be rapidly deployed. So what we promote is kind of solution that we are not fighting fiber. What we do, and this is kind of our pitch, is that this technology extends fiber. So the fiber should be, there is no doubt that fiber is an essential part of any communication network that wants to drive gigabit or multi-gigabit capacity, but it should be in the backbone, and the densification of this network. We believe that the most cost-effective way and the fastest way to do that is to use the millimeter wave technology.
Okay.
So there are 2 frequency bands in the millimeter wave space, the V band. I'll show you the product that we have for the V band. V band is unlicensed band. It came to the news lately because the FCC opened additional spectrum in the V-band. So it was 57 to 64 gigahertz, 7 gigahertz of unlicensed spectrum. Now they added 7 gigahertz more. So now this became 14 gigahertz of unlicensed spectrum, which is the largest band in the whole spectrum. And actually this is more than all the other bands put together. So there is plenty of spectrum, and this is actually what gives those frequencies the capability of doing multi-gigabit speed. So the V-band product, and this is the 60 gigahertz product, is over there.
So we got one right there.
Yeah, this one, the small one. So this is specifically designed for street-level deployments. So it can sit on the pole. It can sit on building facades. So it doesn't look like a radio. Really small box. It has PoE in, PoE out. So you can daisy chain several products, or connect camera, connect Wi-Fi access point, connect small cell, etc. So it is really defined, really designed, and really engineered for the street-level deployment. And we have a portfolio of E-band products. This is the E-band product. The E-band is the 70-80 gigahertz frequency band. There is only 10 gigahertz of available spectrum there. It is lightly licensed band. It means that there is a registration process of $75 per 10 years, so the license cost is really negligible. We have radios for different scenarios, for different fiber extension scenarios, from 1 gig aggregated up to 5 gig full duplex product. This is here. About the distances, the distance for the V-band is roughly half a mile. The distance for the E-band product is 2 or 3 miles, depends on your network requirements. It can stretch for longer distances as well, and we have a solution that combines actually the E-band with the low frequency radio as a backup or as a failover, and this one you can see here. So the antenna here is actually dual band antenna, the E-band antenna that combines 5 gigahertz antenna as well, 2x2 MIMO, and you can plug in any 5 gigahertz sub-6 radio that has an SMA interfaces, and all the switching, everything is done in our radio using the network processor that we have embedded. And when the E-band goes down due to rain conditions on the long distances, the 5 gigahertz kicks in and the traffic switch to the 5 gigahertz. So in that way, 99% of the time, for example, for 7 miles link, you get 2 gig or multi-gig capacity, and you stay always connected, since when there is a rain and the E-band, heavy rain, and the E-band goes down, the 5 gig kicks in and it provides several tens or a few hundreds of megabits, what it is capable for. So in that way you can stretch the capabilities of E-band, provide multi-gigabit capacity over longer distances.
Yeah, that looks like, obviously it's not the speed demon that a 5 gig radio is, but I find that interesting because, say a WISP has a network that's primarily built out with a certain 5 gigahertz backhaul, be it Ubiquiti, Mimosa, somebody, and then on those shorter, all depending upon what your definition of shorter is, links, you can put this guy on there, you can get far more throughput that's interference free, very reliable when it's not raining. When it rains, that dies, you fall back to your other 5 gig, which is something you're already using, you've already channel planned for.
Right.
It won't immediately start interfering with your network.
Yeah, and in most of the regions, 99% of the time, there is no heavy rain to kill the E-band radio.
Sure.
So 99% of the time, and it's 362 days a year, the E-band will fully function. And as you mentioned, this is the most cost-effective way to boost. I mean, it's not double, it's not triple, it's 10 times increase the capacity of your existing network.
Sure, yeah. I think this is great for someone that has built out with, with that 5 gig backhaul network. Because other companies, they have their own built-in 5 gig, which is a little more seamless to some people, but then that 5 gig radio would then conflict with their existing 5 gig deployments.
Yeah.
Here, you can put your existing 5 gig radio on it.
Yeah, right. And so this is more for the rural connectivity applications.
Sure.
The sweet spots of the E-band, though, of the millimeter wave, though, is dense urban.
Sure.
You've probably heard about WISP.
Yes.
The fastest service provider in San Francisco, that one of our biggest and oldest customers here in the US, which now a part of Google Fiber.
Much bigger now.
Much bigger now. And they use a lot of SQL radios in San Francisco and other areas that operate. So the thing is that in dense urban area, the denser the network becomes using the millimeter wave frequencies, the better the performance is. Because the denser the network is, the distance is becoming more shorter. And this technology, it's immune to interference. So you can deploy several units. You can choose different channels. And they have the pencil beam antennas. So the only limiting factor is the distance due to the rain attenuation. And once the network becomes denser, the performance increases, unlike in other frequency bands.
Sure.
Yeah, and in dense urban areas, this is exactly the case.
Sure. Earlier you had mentioned, adding that additional 7 gigahertz recently. When do you think that might become available on a Siklu product?
Yeah, so part of this new so-called 7 gigahertz frequency we already support in the latest software release.
Okay.
So our products, the previous release supported, it's just the software release, 57 to 64. Now it supports 57 to 66. So 2 gigahertz out of this new 7 gigahertz is already supported. And we also working on the point to multi-point V-band radio, which will be available at the beginning of the next year, Q1.
All right.
Yeah, we are on top of things there.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And if I can ever get a salesman to help me actually sell my technical abilities to my potential clients, I can see myself buying quite a bit of this, because I've I've got a lot of links that are in that 1,000 kilometers and less that I could build. That could take that huge capacity and really put it to use.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you. I'm glad that we could finally get you guys on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.